Hey, welcome back. Glad you could join me today. Today I want to talk about the comforts and pleasures of horses. Okay, that's a little bit sarcastic, but it really is what we're talking about. We're talking about creature comforts and that sort of thing. And, well, we can start off today by saying it's a little on the warm side, which, well, that's relative depending on where you live. It's well into the 90s already today. So to me, that's a little bit warm. The flies are horrible here right now at this time of year. But these are all things that we are going to endure so that we can spend time with the horse. Now, horses can be rather comfortable animals in some ways, but I can assure you that your saddle is never ever going to be as comfortable as your favorite chair at home or the sofa or whatever. So spending time with your horse, let's see, already we got, it's hot. The flies are bad, and we're going to be sitting in an uncomfortable saddle. Oh, on top of that, if you're riding, you're going to be, you don't just sit there and take a nap, because I can assure you, you will get a rude awakening if you try that. You're going to be using muscles. You don't just sit there. A lot of people think you just sit there, the horse does all the work. No, I can assure you, if you ride long enough in a day, everything from your toes to the top of your head is going to hurt at the end of the day. You're going to discover muscles you didn't even know you had. You know, so you're using muscles, you're getting exercise, you're sitting on something that isn't necessarily the most comfortable thing in the world. It's hot, the flies are bad. And then, well, depending on the person, you might not even like the smells sometimes, because, well, even myself, I really like horses, but when they get real hot and sweaty after a long ride, they don't smell great. They smell wonderful when they're not sweating, but once they start sweating, horses don't smell particularly nice. So now we got the smell on top of it. Geez, what else have we got? Well, of course, depending on the day, it could be windy, it could be raining, it could be hot, it could be cold. You know, you could I mean, the flies we got right now, they're horrible, but at least they don't bite. You could have a lot of biting flies of different kinds. Depending on where you go around here, mosquitoes can be really bad. So that's another thing you got to deal with. And all these things, all these unpleasant things, and you're thinking, you know, I could stay at home, I could be in my, you know, climate-controlled house with no flies, temperature's perfect, sitting on a really soft couch, doesn't smell bad. You got everything going for you. You could have that if you really wanted to. But I'm not out here doing this stuff because that's what I want. What I want is horses. And the time that I spend with them and the things that we do together are so pleasurable for me. The rest of that stuff really doesn't matter. But don't think that you can have the good stuff without the other stuff, because it's going to be hot, it's going to be cold, there's going to be bugs, you're going to get bit, you're going to get sunstroke, we're going to get rained on, it's going to smell bad, you're going to sit in an uncomfortable saddle. You actually have to do some physical work. And then you got to tote that darn saddle around, and those things, some of them are pretty heavy. The better ones are actually quite heavy. And if you're not very big, that could be a lot of work. So, you know, you got all this stuff you got to do that is not good. Why are we doing it? Because of the good. And, well, we're not doing it because we want to be comfortable. We're not out here because we want a nice day. If I wanted a really nice, easy, comfortable, I'd be sitting inside in the air conditioning, watching a movie or something like that on a nice, comfortable chair. No, but that's not what I'm doing. I'm not here for comfort. I'm here for my pleasure, and my pleasure is the horses. And this one here, well, actually all of them, give me a great deal of pleasure. So you kind of got to ask yourself, why are you here? You know, because if this isn't important enough to you, that rest of that stuff could easily become overwhelming and become too much for you to handle. But as long as this here is important enough to you to endure all that other stuff really isn't a big deal. You know, yeah, it's a little warm, so what? You know, I'm sweating a little bit. Yeah, so what? I can go take a shower when I'm done. I've already got enough sun on my body that any of the exposed parts, if I do get some more sun, I'm not going to get burnt. Well, maybe I'll spend a whole day out. As white as I look, by the way, I'm just very fair-skinned. I'm actually quite tanned on my arms right now. It doesn't look like it in this video, I can guarantee it. But those were actually quite tanned for me. So, anyhow, so that's kind of what I wanted to talk about is, all the unpleasant things that you are going to have to endure. And, even if you're not riding, even if you're just on the ground, in the shade of an arena here, it's still pretty warm. I am going to work up a sweat running around in here, even just walking around. And, if I'm doing groundwork with the horse, there's still physical activity. I don't just get to sit on my derriere watching a movie. You understand this? Horses are great. Horses are wonderful. I get a great deal of pleasure from them. They smell good. Well, when they're not sweating. Yeah, they're a huge pleasure to be around. But don't think that that's the only thing there is. There's all the other stuff you have to endure as well. But that's not why I'm here. I'm here for the good stuff. I'm here because that stuff and this horse are so darn good, the rest doesn't matter. Is that important enough to you? Think about it.